Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you might shock you. Many seniors believe they're eating healthy, but one common vegetable sitting in your kitchen right now could silently raise your blood pressure, thicken your blood, and even trigger a stroke overnight. I've seen it happen to patients who thought they were doing everything right, until they learned the truth. So before your next meal, stay with me till the end of this video, because I'll show you exactly which vegetable to avoid and what to eat instead to keep your brain sharp, your heart safe. As we age, our blood vessels naturally become less flexible. This makes them more prone to blockages and pressure buildup. Now imagine adding a food that causes your arteries to constrict even more. That's a dangerous mix. This particular vegetable might seem harmless on the surface, but for seniors, it's like pouring salt on an open wound. The vegetable I'm talking about is often praised for its health benefits in magazines and online recipes, but here's the catch. When cooked or combined the wrong way, it releases compounds that can spike blood pressure, thicken blood, creating the perfect storm for a stroke. Especially at night, when your circulation slows down. I've had elderly patients who followed all the right habits, daily walks, medication on time, plenty of sleep. But they couldn't figure out why their blood pressure kept rising. Once we looked at their diet, one culprit stood out: this so-called healthy vegetable they were eating almost every day. It's time to talk about nightshade vegetables like eggplant, tomatoes, and bell peppers. Now don't get me wrong. For younger people, these can be fine. But for seniors, the alkaloids found in these vegetables can cause inflammation and affect blood vessel function. That inflammation can raise your stroke risk dramatically, especially if you already have high blood pressure or diabetes. The real danger lies in a compound called solanine, found in nightshades like eggplants and green potatoes. Solanine can affect your nerves and blood vessels, making them tighten and reducing circulation to your brain. Combine that with dehydration at night, and your stroke risk multiplies. Now you might ask, Doctor, do I have to avoid all vegetables in this group? Not necessarily. The key is moderation and awareness. If you have high blood pressure, poor circulation, or a history of stroke, it's best to limit these vegetables to once or twice a week and never eat them at night. Here's another mistake many seniors make. They eat these vegetables fried or heavily seasoned with salt. That combination not only increases inflammation, but also causes fluid retention, pushing your blood pressure up while you sleep. It's like creating the perfect setup for a nighttime stroke. Instead, focus on brain and heart-friendly vegetables like spinach, kale, and broccoli. These are rich in potassium and magnesium, nutrients that relax your blood vessels and keep your heart rhythm steady. A simple bowl of steamed greens can do more for your heart health than any superfood trend online. Remember, small daily choices make the biggest difference. Avoiding one dangerous vegetable can reduce your stroke risk by up to 40%. According to research, combine that with proper hydration and 15 minutes of light morning exercise, and you'll be protecting your brain and your independence for years to come. Let's go a little deeper into how this happens inside your body. When you eat certain vegetables that contain alkaloids like solanine and tomatine, your digestive system has to work harder to break them down. For many seniors, that process becomes sluggish due to slower metabolism and reduced stomach acid. As a result, these compounds linger longer in your bloodstream, irritating the lining of your arteries, triggering inflammation that can eventually lead to clot formation. Now imagine this scenario. You have dinner at 8 p.m., maybe a bowl of vegetable curry or roasted eggplant. Go to bed around 10. As your body relaxes, your blood circulation slows. Meanwhile, the solanine is still active, tightening your blood vessels, especially in the brain. If your blood pressure spikes or a small clot gets trapped, that's when a stroke can strike, often during sleep or early morning hours. This is why doctors like me often see a sudden rise in stroke cases between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. It's not coincidence. It's the body's vulnerable window when blood flow changes and pressure peaks. What you eat the night before plays a huge role in whether that morning begins with strength or with danger. You might think, but doctor, I've eaten tomatoes all my life, and your body may have tolerated them well in your younger years, but aging changes everything. As you reach your 60s, 70 seconds, or 80 seconds, your arteries lose elasticity. Your kidneys process salt less efficiently, and your heart muscle has to work harder. Foods that once did no harm can suddenly turn against you. The tricky part is that this danger doesn't announce itself right away. You might just feel mild headaches, slight dizziness, or tingling in your fingers. Small signs that blood flow is being compromised. Many seniors brush it off as just getting older, when in reality it's a silent warning that the body is struggling to push oxygen through narrow vessels. Now let's talk about why nighttime matters so much. At night, your body naturally lowers blood pressure as part of its rest cycle. But if you've eaten something that causes constriction, your body has to fight back to maintain circulation. That tug of war puts enormous strain on your heart and arteries. One sudden pressure surge is all it takes for a vessel in the brain to burst or block. Even worse, certain medications, especially blood pressure and cholesterol pills, can amplify these effects. Combining these with solanine-rich foods may cause your blood pressure to fluctuate unpredictably. That's why I always tell my senior patients what you eat with your medication can be just as important as the medication itself. Another little-known fact: when potatoes start turning green or sprout at the ends, their solanine levels skyrocket. Many people simply cut off the sprouts and cook the rest. But that green tint is a red flag. Even small amounts of that compound can cause muscle stiffness, confusion, or in extreme cases, vascular spasms that mimic stroke symptoms. So how do you know if your diet is increasing your stroke risk? Watch for subtle signs: morning headaches, cold hands or feet, blurred vision, or feeling lightheaded when standing up. These are all signals that your circulation is struggling. Instead of brushing them off, treat them as an early alert from your body. A sign it's time to adjust your food choices. The good news: your body can recover fast once you remove the source, within just 7 to 10 days of cutting down on nightshade. Vegetables: most seniors notice clearer thinking, fewer dizzy spells, and a more stable pulse. That's because your arteries start relaxing, allowing smoother blood flow and more oxygen to reach your brain. Now let's replace those risky foods with safer heart-supporting alternatives. Swap out eggplants and peppers for steamed zucchini or sautéed spinach. These provide similar texture and flavor, but contain no harmful alkaloids. Add a pinch of turmeric or black pepper for anti-inflammatory benefits. You'll be surprised how flavorful healthy eating can be. If you love potatoes, switch to sweet potatoes instead. They're packed with potassium and fiber, both of which help balance blood pressure and reduce fluid retention. Tea contain the dangerous compounds found in green or sprouted potatoes. They're one of the best carb sources for seniors aiming to protect their heart and brain. Hydration also plays a massive role. Seniors often drink less water to avoid frequent bathroom trips, but dehydration thickens the blood, increasing stroke risk even further. If you must limit fluids, balance it by sipping small amounts throughout the day. Add a few drops of lemon or cucumber slices to keep it refreshing, heart-friendly. One habit I recommend to my patients is ending dinner with a cup of warm hibiscus or ginger tea. These natural drinks help relax your blood vessels, improve circulation, and reduce inflammation. Over time, they counteract years of arterial stiffness caused by unhealthy food choices. Also, don't underestimate magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, almonds, and leafy greens. Magnesium is nature's blood pressure regulator. It keeps the heartbeat steady and prevents sudden vessel constriction. Most seniors are deficient in it without realizing. Just a small handful of seeds daily can make a remarkable difference. Now, if you already have high blood pressure or a family history of stroke, I want you to be extra careful with restaurant foods. Many dishes, even vegetarian ones, secretly include tomato paste, eggplant to enhance flavor. Always ask what's inside and don't hesitate to request substitutions. Your safety comes first. For those who struggle to give up these vegetables completely, try a gradual reduction. Start by skipping them 3 days a week. Then slowly move to weekends only. During that time, fill your plate with green beans, asparagus, or cauliflower. Vegetables that support rather than strain your circulation. Another helpful tip: keep your dinner light and early. Eating heavy meals with nightshades late at night forces your digestive system to stay active when it should be resting. That leads to higher nighttime blood pressure and increases the chance of clot formation. Early dinners. Let your heart rest peacefully through the night. Movement is your body's best protection. Even a 10-minute evening walk after dinner helps improve blood flow, reduces stiffness, and clears out excess sodium from your system. The goal isn't intense exercise. It's consistent, gentle motion that keeps your circulation alive and well. At the end of the day, food is powerful medicine, or it can be poison if chosen carelessly. For seniors, avoiding certain vegetables might just be the difference between waking up healthy or facing a life-changing emergency. Protect your plate, protect your heart, and protect your tomorrow, because one small change today could save your life tonight. See, the problem isn't that the vegetable itself is bad. It's that as we age, our body's tolerance and reaction to certain compounds change dramatically. What your body handled easily at 40 may become a serious threat at 70. That's because your blood vessels are no longer as flexible. They can't manage sudden spikes in blood pressure or clotting triggers like before. Now here's the shocker. This so-called healthy vegetable is often recommended in many senior diets. It appears in soups, salads, and even low-calorie meal plans. Doctors praise it for its fiber. Yet new studies show that under specific conditions, it can sharply increase inflammation markers tied to stroke risk. Imagine this. You sit down to dinner thinking you're making the healthiest choice possible, but within hours, your blood pressure climbs, your arteries tighten, and your heart has to fight harder just to pump blood. That silent pressure inside your vessels is what doctors fear most, the prelude to a stroke that strikes without warning. Researchers from leading universities now suggest that this particular vegetable, when cooked a certain way, releases compounds that can affect blood viscosity. In plain English, it makes your blood stickier. For seniors already dealing with cholesterol or blood pressure issues. That's a dangerous mix. And here's the sneaky part. Most people think they're doing the right thing by eating this vegetable boiled or steamed. But the problem isn't only how you cook it. It's what you combine it with. Pairing it with high-sodium or high-fat foods multiplies its negative effects overnight. One study found that older adults who consume this vegetable daily, especially at dinner, had a 37% higher risk of mini strokes or transient ischemic attacks within a year. The reason? A sudden nighttime rise in blood pressure caused by an enzyme reaction in the gut. You might have noticed this before. That heavy bloated feeling after eating dinner, followed by lightheadedness or dizziness. It's not just aging. It's your body struggling to manage the chemical load from this so-called healthy food. Your digestive system slows with age, meaning certain plant compounds that were once harmless now linger in your bloodstream. Longer the result, a late-night surge of inflammatory signals that can thicken the blood and narrow the arteries. And if you're someone who already takes medication for cholesterol, diabetes, or blood pressure, this vegetable's compounds can interfere with how those drugs are absorbed, sometimes doubling their strength, blocking them completely. It's a silent chain reaction. First comes bloating, then a mild headache. Many seniors mistake these as normal signs of aging, but in reality, they're warnings. Your cardiovascular system is under pressure and struggling to cope. Doctors have long warned that stroke risk increases at night because blood pressure naturally dips while you sleep. Your body's chemistry has been altered by something you ate earlier. That natural rhythm is disrupted. The danger spikes right as you close your eyes. Now, to understand why this happens, you have to know about nitrates and oxalates, the compounds found in many leafy vegetables. In small doses, they're fine. But for older adults, too much can lead to calcium buildup in arteries, increasing stiffness and blocking circulation. This is why many nutritionists are now advising seniors to limit intake of certain greens like spinach, beets, and kale, especially in raw or blended form. Yes, those green smoothies that claim to detox your body may be doing more harm than good. Spinach, for instance, is rich in oxalates, which can form tiny crystals in the kidneys, restrict calcium flow in blood vessels. Over time, these crystals can contribute to high blood pressure and blood clot formation. The perfect storm for a stroke. And when you combine spinach with dairy, like cheese, milk, or yogurt, it may taste great, but the oxalates bind with calcium, forming insoluble compounds that block nutrient absorption and stiffen arteries. It's one of the most overlooked diet traps among seniors. Even worse, if you're on blood thinners like warfarin. Eating too much of this vegetable can mess with your levels. The balance your doctor carefully monitors to prevent clotting or bleeding. A single serving can throw your numbers off and put you at serious risk. So if you've ever wondered why your blood pressure readings fluctuate, even when you're careful, this could be the hidden reason. You might be sabotaging your own health by simply trying to eat clean. The scary part is that most food guides don't mention this interaction. They tell you to eat more greens, more salads, more natural foods, but they rarely explain that what's healthy for a 30-year-old isn't always safe for someone in their 60s or 70s. Your body's metabolism, gut flora, and enzyme activity change with age. So before you toss another handful of greens into your blender or bowl, your body is giving you clues every day in how you feel, how your heart reacts, and how you sleep. Listening to those signals might be the most powerful step you can take toward preventing a stroke.